Mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, dip my body.
Hello. You are now tuned in to the A Little Bit a Lot podcast. I'm your host, Kristen, and welcome back to another episode. So excited to be chatting with you guys. It has been such a long week, not only when it comes to like personal life, but also like on social media. There's been so much going on. We got government shutdowns. I think I talked about that a couple of weeks ago, but thankfully, I have some close sources who get food stamps, and they told me that they have still received theirs for the month of November. So the universe is working, sweetie, in our favor, okay? So I'm so glad that people are still able to receive their benefits, because this current administration is literally trying to like end the world, and that's absolutely ridiculous. So keep fighting, y'all. I understand that like time is tough. We're in a recession. Everybody's going through the gags right now. But I've just been still trying to just keep my head up high, because all you can do is, laugh to keep from crying. And I think that's what this podcast gives me, is a source of escape, right? To be able to just kiki with you guys. So I'm like, let's just do a little rapid fire, because there's a couple of things that I have been, looking at or, interested in that I want to talk with you guys about. So, there's been drama going on within the coloring community. I mean, then again, there's like always drama going on in the coloring community. Like, when isn't there, right? And I think that once I joined the coloring community, I realized it's not really different from like any other community. People are humans. Humans are going to human, and there's going to be conflict, but there's also going to be lots of love. So we need to talk about that and a couple other things we have on the docket when it comes to this teacher I saw on TikTok. She got her Funko Pop stolen. That was crazy. We got Grammy nominations. Like, we got things to discuss, okay? But before we get into it, if you're watching this episode on YouTube, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you could give this video a thumbs up, it would really help out, so that way we can reach other people in the community, other like-minded people, so that way they can join the gang. Comment down below to let me know what you think about today's topics, and subscribe. If you could please subscribe, like seriously, that would literally like help me tremendously, because I am on my road to my first 1K, and the day that I'm recording this, I think I'm like 190 subscribers away from hitting my first 1K. So if you click that subscribe, you won't regret it, okay? We talk about pop culture, mental health, movies, music, TV, you name it, okay? So you don't want to miss out on that. And turn the post notifications on, so that way you're staying up to date with everything. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, rate that 5 stars, leave a review to let me know what you think about the show, period. Okay, so when it comes to this coloring community drama, I feel like I kind of want to, I don't want to come across as like entitled or mean or insensitive to like anybody's feelings when it comes to the current situation that's been going on between Ohuhu and Bobbie Goods. But at the same time, I feel like there's some ridiculous things going on that I just personally want to share my thoughts and opinions on, that I think have like just kind of started spiraling out of control within the last couple of days. So if you guys don't know, there is a really huge brand called Ohuhu in the coloring community. And mind you, I've got my credentials, okay? I have been in the coloring community for a year now, right? Like, I've got, a following on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok in the coloring community. Have amazing mutuals who, all of them I love. And we stand Ohuhu. I've worked with them via TikTok shop a couple of times. And, overall, they're an awesome brand. And this brand makes alcohol markers. These are like the mecca of alcohol markers that a lot of people use in the coloring community. They're personally my favorite. No shade, no tea to any other brand. I've tried multiple different brands, Grammy, Shuttle Art, Bianyo. Like, I have them all, and I've been gifted a few different marker sets, but Ohuhu, in my personal opinion, is the best because it's the only alcohol marker brand that doesn't stain my pages in my books yellow after a while. So we stand. And Ohuhu not only just makes alcohol markers, but they also make acrylic markers, they make pens, they have all different types of like art supplies. But their biggest thing lately has been alcohol markers. And of course, people that are outside of the coloring community who are just like in the art community feel like people using alcohol markers is ridiculous on like regular printer paper and coloring books. And like, I understand and respect your opinion on that. Personally, I'm a stick with alcohol markers. That's what like interested me in getting into the coloring community in general because of how smooth the markers look on the page. I personally just love working with them. Like, they're really great. So this brand decided to do a collaboration with another company called Bobbie Goods, and it's run by this woman who illustrates all of her coloring books herself. And I believe her family helps her with her business, working at her warehouse to ship out her products. But if you're in the coloring community, then like Bobbie Goods, because Bobbie Goods is like the mecca of coloring books, right? Like, you have different tiers of coloring books. You've got like your cheaper ones that go for about $7 on Amazon, and then you've got like the bougie ones that are like printed on premium cardstock paper that are around the $22 range, like Bobbie Goods. Those are a little bit more elite, right? I personally love Bobbie Goods. All of their pages are so cute, and I have a copy of every single one of her books. So she's a pretty big deal in the coloring space, and Ohuhu is a big deal in the coloring space. So it only made sense that they would do a collaboration together. So this week, Bobbie Goods and Ohuhu announced that they were coming out with a 48 pack of alcohol markers. And I was so excited and over the moon because I love both brands. And even though I already personally own the 320 Ohuhu marker set, which before anybody who's not in the coloring community comes from me, I know everybody says, why do you need that many markers? Cut the noise, okay? Right? Like, we know that there's been plenty of a conversation about like overconsumption when it comes to the coloring community. Why do people need that many markers? Why do people need that many books? Whatever. But at the end of the day, it's my choice. I can do what I want with my money. I can do what I want with my hobbies. And at the end of the day, I think that there's an overconsumption issue in like pretty much every community, right? Not just for women, but also men too. People like to collect things. People like to have trinkets. People like to have hobbies and interests. It is what it is. Consumerism, final boss, all the chat about it all. I'm literally so done. Like, at the end of the day, I always say we're on a floating rock called Earth. Like, literally the current administration in America, like I said, is trying to like turn into Hitler and like run a dictatorship on American citizens. ICE is constantly trying to deport innocent people who literally already have proper documentation but are being racially, discriminated against. There is too much going in the world for that we should be concerned about for people to keep spending their time like constantly targeting and attacking the coloring community for how much stuff they have. So like, that conversation is done and tired, right? I got my markers, and once I saw Ohuhu and Bobbie Goods came out with the 48 pack, I said, I need that too. Because at the end of the day, at that point, it's a collector's item, right? Ohuhu also has a Sanrio, like Hello Kitty set of Ohuhu markers that I really want as well. But I think those are only sold in Japan. And then you can also get them on eBay. But I haven't gotten my hands on those yet. But I'm like, of course, like, I want this 48 set, because even though the set already includes colors that are included in the 320 set, it's a personally curated set of markers that Bobbie Goods herself specifically chose. Okay. So I think ultimately it's worth it because the set is so unique. Not only is the bag that the collaboration comes in like custom, where it has like Bobbie Goods drawings on the outside of the bag, that's such a cute collector's item. Then the swatch cards that you get in the 48 Bobbie Goods and Ohuhu set is also like really unique compared to any other swatch cards that they have. They're personalized and custom made with like little Bobbie Goods characters that you can like swatch. It also comes with a protective sheet that looks different from any other sheet that the Ohuhu markers come with, where it has like a Bobbie Goods drawing on it. And it also comes with this cute little card that you can like color as well. And then Bobbie Goods herself posted on her Instagram story, and she said, "I spent forever curating this palette for you. I picked colors that match the Bobbie Goods palette as close as possible. And I included all the colors that you need to color our signature characters." So she said, "We have lots of greens, lots of browns, all the prettiest blues, the perfect pinks, plenty of yellows and creams, and more." So I'm like, okay, period. I personally think that as a collector's item, this is still worth it because there's so much thought and consideration that went into every single detail about this collab that just makes it worth the money. And I think the retail price was like $54 or $58 or something like that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need to cop that. And also they had a lot going on, at Bobbie Goods, like HQ, because on November 1st, they released a brand new coloring book. And Bobbie Goods does not drop coloring books, like new ones, that often. So we were all really excited because we hadn't got a new one in a while. And this one was called On the Job, where it features different characters like in the Bobbie Goods like universe doing different jobs, like ballerinas, a seamstress, different things like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna need that coloring book, and I'm gonna need that Ohuhu Bobbie Goods 48 pack of alcohol markers as well for a collector's moment. So there was like drama going on with these two different drops, right? So I noticed that when the coloring book came out on November 1st, it dropped at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got on the website, I purchased my book, right? I personally purchased my book. And then I get on Instagram, I get on TikTok, and I see that there are a couple of different people who are creators in the coloring community that posted that they got sent the book for free from Bobbie herself. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so exciting. I immediately was just so happy for the people that I saw that received one. And everything about this PR was really cute because not only did you get a copy of the new book, but she also gave you like the sticker that comes with it, the little piece of like, there's like a little 5x7 or something like that card that tells you information on the back about the brand. And then on the front, you can color it. And it also came with like an autographed coloring page as well that said something like, "Happy coloring, like love Bobbie." So I'm like, oh, Bobbie Goods is taking it, sweetie, with this PR. And I was impressed by the fact that the PR that was sent to creators was really diverse. Like, not only did you have all different people of color that were getting the PR, but you also had people that ranged in like the size, the amount of followers that they had. So I saw some people get PR that had as low as 2K followers all the way up to like 200K. You know what I mean? Type things. Like the range was ranging. And typically when it comes to PR that's like sent by just any brand, period, especially in like lifestyle or like beauty, I think companies don't even consider smaller creators on average as often, right? I'm not saying that they don't, but typically they aren't that like diverse and inclusive with including micro influencers, but Bobbie Goods did. So I'm like, okay, period. Like, go off, Bobbie. And then when it came to the alcohol marker collab that Bobbie dropped with Ohuhu, she announced it and then said, okay, it's coming out tomorrow. So I'm like, period. But the thing that I liked about this collab with Ohuhu was that you could purchase it from many different places. You could get the Ohuhu marker collab on Amazon, you could get it on BobbieGoods.com, or you can get it on Ohuhu's website. And I saw one influencer say that they were only selling like 50,000, so it was going to be extremely limited. So I'm kind of panicking because I'm like, okay, I need to secure mine. Like, what do I do? So I was like, maybe I should think ahead of time and like already like the night before, I was like, I'm going to go on Amazon. Something just told me to go on Amazon. Like, seriously, something just told me to go on Amazon, try to find the markers, just look at them and see if I can like add them to my cart ahead of time, like when they go live, right? The next day. But to my surprise, I looked and the markers were already available for purchase. And I have Amazon Prime, so it said that I could get the markers shipped to me the next day, the day that they were technically supposed to come out. So I'm like, oh, sweetie, I'm about to buy these right now. So I bought the markers and then they came the next day and I was able to get my Bobbie Goods Ohuhu markers hours before they even officially were supposed to go on sale on Amazon, Bobbie's website, and Ohuhu's website. So I posted my unboxing and a lot of people were just like, girl, these haven't even gone on sale yet. How were you able to get yours already? People were confused. And I'm like, girl, I'm confused too. Like, they were supposed to go on sale today, but for some reason they were available to purchase early on Amazon. So that's what I was replying to everybody in the comments, letting them know. Like, I didn't get sent these for PR or anything like that, because also Bobbie Goods and Ohuhu sent a couple of like creators the markers as well. So people got not only the book, but then some people got the markers. So a lot of people were confused, right? But I'm like, hey, I don't know. I just so happened to check and I got them. And then when it was time for them to officially go on sale, I guess they sold out very quickly because Ohuhu allegedly was selling the markers early as well and no one knew. And Amazon sold them early and not a lot of people knew. And apparently Bobbie Goods was allegedly the only one who dropped theirs on time on their website. And it sold out within like 20 minutes. So then people started commenting on my video being like, oh, I tried to get mine, but they were sold out so quick. So I felt really bad because I'm like, dang. So then, of course, you know, that caused a lot of drama with people that were really sad that they weren't able to get it. Then on top of that, people were already feeling some type of way about not receiving free PR from the coloring book as well. So it was kind of all just a mess. And then next thing you know, I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see one of my mutuals. She posts like a screenshot of a comment that Bobbie Goods left like within their comments on a post, because I guess the post that they made where they were like, the markers are live now, Bobbie Goods commented and said, I'm so sorry to everyone that's disappointed. That happened way too fast, you know, with the markers selling out. I'm going to talk with Ohuhu and see what happens next so we can get y'all some more markers. And I'm like, period. So I'm thinking, this is great. You know, even though there was like some discrepancies with it being sold early on two different places and they sold out so fast, Bobbie is on it. She's going to talk to Ohuhu and figure out what's going on. So I'm like, great. But apparently for my mutual, that wasn't good enough. I'm going to just try to keep the usernames of these like comments that I'm reading private, because I'm not trying to start any beef with anybody for sharing how they feel. But at the same time, if you're going to post it on the, you know, the internet, like, people have a right to be able to read it and react to it and also share their feelings about your feelings, just like you have a right to share your feelings. So it's like, it's all love at the end of the day. I'm not trying to be shady, but I'm just like, huh? You know what I mean? Like, a little bit confused. So after Bobbie said, hey, sorry, y'all, we gonna try to figure it out, this person commented and replied to Bobbie Goods and said, maybe some feedback, girl. No tea, no shade, but sending out so many PR to popular content creators was really disheartening. I get trying to promote your business, but right now in this economy, we're struggling. Many not so popular artists want to support your business and also have fun too. You sent out your coloring book and signed copies and the markers too. it was really disappointing, to be honest. I would love to see you and Ohuhu collab to support the community and not just your businesses right now while the world is just seemingly falling apart. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, here I am being like, hey, period. That's so good for Bobbie. You know, like, they started off as a small company. She's popping now. She's getting to the point where she's able to send PR. Like I said, she sent it to so many different people with different amount of followers. Exciting that the collab was live, but then it went sold out. But she's gonna work on it, so everything's good. And then because find out that other people don't agree with that, was like, oh, right. And so then after that girl said that, she screenshotted that and then posted it. And then her caption, she said, I might get some heat for this, but I need to speak on it. I knew I was not going to get PR, let alone a chance to purchase the markers as soon as I saw Bobbie's post. And good for her. It was great marketing. We've all been waiting for a collab, so I didn't waste my time trying to buy them, to be honest. But here's the thing. Right now, the world is going through it. I can only speak for my country and the hardships that we're facing. There's a government shutdown, which impacts a lot more people than we realize, myself heavily included. I've been furloughed. My husband wasn't paid, then was, and then he was actually underpaid by a lot, and then SNAP was cut. And this impacts not only me, but our family and friends. It hits closer to you, closer than you might realize. I just think that it was a bit of overkill with the book and the markers, and then seeing a select few with bigger platforms get to experience things that a lot of us want. But in a time where we're already mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted is a lot. I love this community, and I would love to see more community outreach and involvement from all of us, businesses included. That's all. And if you're salty that you didn't get markers, I'm holding space for you. It's okay to be upset. Let's go get a treat or take a nap or both. So once I saw this, I'm just like, okay. And just like she said to Bobbie Goods, no shade, no tea. This is no shade to you and no tea to you. If you just so happen to see this, if you know who you are, you know that you're the one that left this comment and you're the one that posted this. I personally just feel like a lot of what you're saying is valid, right? We are going through a lot. Like I said, we're having a government shutdown. It is a tough time right now with us basically being in a recession. But at the same time, to say that them dropping the books and the markers was overkill, I think is kind of doing a little bit too much in my personal opinion, because it's like, she's a business too. Bobbie Goods has to make income as well. And businesses all over the country are struggling right now. So, like, what are we supposed to expect them to not release any new products even though we're in a recession? I feel like that's kind of unrealistic to put on them. And when she said that she saw a select few with bigger platforms get to experience things that a lot of us want, that's not true. Because like I said, I saw people with even smaller platforms get PR from Bobbie Goods and Ohuhu. So I'm like, what's the point of even saying that, right? And I do agree that it would be nice to see more community outreach and involvement from businesses and Ohuhu, because Bobbie Goods collaborates with smaller creators often, right? But Ohuhu as a company, they do tend to work with bigger creators. So it would be nice to see more giveaways, see more collaboration and outreach. I do agree with that. I don't know. I feel like there's so many like points that I'm like, okay, I agree with, but then there's a lot of points that I don't agree with, right? So I think that this situation isn't so black and white, because at the end of the day, like, we all need to hold space for everybody's emotions and feelings. But I don't know. It's just like, it's complex, right? So then that's when somebody commented on her post And this girl said, "Hey girlie, I was a part of the lucky group of creators that Bobbie reached out to. And while I totally understand being disappointed for not receiving PR, I've been there because a lot of us, myself included, as well as other creators, are the furthest from the richest of rich." Because then I saw like some other comments, people were saying that like only creators with a lot of money were getting PR. And I'm like, that's not true. Like a lot of the people that receive PR are average working people that are also working paycheck to paycheck. So that's kind of ridiculous. And she said, "I bought my desk on sale for $40 and I had to work my way up to the full Ohuhu set because I couldn't afford to purchase the 320 in one go. Every time that I've wanted to buy Bobbie Goods books, I've had to set money aside from a couple of paychecks. We all work very hard to have the platforms that we do. And I say that as someone who just recently was able to hit 10K. So while I understand your frustration, because I also live in this scary place that we call America, I think there's a way to articulate that without bringing other creators down who have been looking forward to the day that they're finally able to receive PR from Bobbie." And I'm like, okay, period. Right. Like, if you got an issue, take it up with Bobbie, but bringing up the creators and then making people feel bad is like kind of icky, right? So then somebody else commented and replied back to her and said, "Well, my question is, why send a set of markers that feature no new colors to creators who already have the 320 set?" That's not true. Once again, not every single person that received PR already has a 320 set. Like, where are y'all getting this information from? And then they said, "Imagine the videos and the hype that they'd get if they sent these to smaller creators who have probably never received PR before and don't own these books or markers. It's not like the books and markers aren't well known in this community. It's hard to find someone who doesn't have either of them." I'm like, okay. And then there's like other comments on here that are like, "Yeah, well, it's sad that they released early, the markers if they did. But also, I don't think giving out PR is a problem, though. That's what TikTok Shop is and like any other influencer programs." Right. Then somebody else said, "Girl, as a longtime Bobbie and Ohuhu fan, this hits hard. It's really disheartening, and it's so nice to see someone standing up for us smaller creators." Okay. And then you had like a handful of comments who were like, didn't even know what was going on. And they were like, "I somehow missed what happened here. Could someone explain to me, please?" I'm like, okay, right. And then somebody else said, "I totally get this. I see many of my coloring friends receiving Bobbie Goods PR and I'm beyond excited for them. But at the same time, I feel a bit gutted that me and many other smaller content creator friends who always color and promote Bobbie's books didn't get a message or anything. I actually reached out to Bobbie Goods by email a few months back asking if there were requirements to be on the PR list, and I was genuinely curious, but I never got a response." First of all, can you imagine how many emails Bobbie Goods gets? It is not a personal attack if you didn't get a reply. Like, maybe they missed it. I don't really think that they would intentionally try to ignore you, but okay. And she said, "I love coloring Bobbie's books. They're my favorite, but it's so hard to get noticed by them, unfortunately, unless you have a high following or your video blows up, which is very difficult with the algorithm these days." I personally, again, don't agree with that because I don't think that it is that hard to get noticed by Bobbie. I only have like less than 5K on all of my platforms, and I've been noticed by them several times with the pages that I've colored by them. Bobbie just commented on my page I colored last week, and she shared my stuff on her story a couple of times. So they are constantly noticing smaller creators and sharing their stuff on the stories and commenting and liking and all that kind of stuff. So I don't agree with that. And then another comment says, "I find it hard to talk about this publicly without being told by others that I'm simply too broke and should not have hobbies if I can't afford them. I just find it very disheartening when an artist who found notoriety through fellow artists that enjoy her and her products are ultimately the ones that are left to the wayside and forgotten when she starts to make bank. It hurts when you see all of the popular creators who are well off already have the most beautiful, expensive setups and all the supplies they could ever need or want, and then they're the ones that receive free PR merchandise rather than the artists who are just as talented but may not have as big of a following. I just think it would feel a lot more genuine, like maybe Bobbie actually cares about the people who originally noticed her and loved her art and not just about the money and the fame. Once again, I do not agree with this statement. Like, everybody that got PR from them is not already well off. Not everybody, like she said, has expensive setups or all the supplies that they could ever want or need. That's not true. And then it was kind of annoying a bit to me because when I posted my unboxing video on TikTok, one of my mutuals commented after I said, I can't believe that Bobbie Goods released this cute set. I got mine early on Amazon, period. Instead of being like, OMG, that's so cool that you got it early. Kisses, love it. And just supporting and being happy regardless. We get it. You feel like it's unfair getting them early on Amazon, whatever. But at the end of the day, be happy that people got it. But then she decided to comment on my post. And this girl said, it's beyond not fair that they just so happened to release the night before and then didn't tell anyone. I tried getting them, and then within 30 seconds of them being in my cart to go to check out, it wouldn't go through. I'm beyond upset. And then when I was like looking at like different, videos, I'm scrolling on my For You page, I see other people that got the markers as well. This same mutual was in every single one of the comments on all the videos being like, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. I'm upset. I'm upset. And it's like, okay, at that point, why are you making that everybody else's problem? Why are you bringing your negativity onto everybody else's video? Like, just say you're happy for them and move on. Like, that's just not something that you need to like say out loud or online. Like, of course, naturally, like, we're human. We're going to, if it's something that we like, you're going to be like, I want that, right? But I feel like I kept my thoughts to myself, right? Like, I even joked with my boyfriend when I saw that Bobbie sent out PR, and I'm like, I need to go check the mail because maybe my PR is like in the mailbox. And I genuinely like went to go check the mail because I'm like, you never know, like maybe she sent something. And my boyfriend's like, wouldn't they have to like send a message to like verify your address? And I'm like, maybe she just knows. Like, me being purely delusional, like, for the bit. But then I'm like, but what if? Like, I don't know. And so of course I'm like, dang, like, yeah, I wish I could be on the PR, but I'm not gonna be like, I'm so mad and then rain on everybody's parade who got one in the comments. Like, huh? It's just a lot. And I think that this one girl like perfectly described overall like the feeling of like, this is all just kind of ridiculous at the end of the day, because there's this creator who posted and said like, if you're upset about this, you're kind of giving pick me vibes. You're kind of giving entitled energy. Like, just be happy for people who got what they got. And in the comments, she replied to somebody because they were like opposing what she said. And she said, look, no one is upset for people feeling down for not being on a PR list, right? But it's starting to feel like all lives matter vibes. And I'm like, dude, that perfectly describes how I feel about this, because no shade, no tea, but every single person that I saw that's been going on, screaming, crying, throwing up about this, being bitter, being angry, saying Ohuhu's not even all that, Bobbie Goods not even all that, skip Ohuhu, skip Bobbie Goods, I'm done supporting them, I'm upset, I'm mad, this is not fair. We're all white women, right? So they hate whenever they're not involved or they, didn't get something that they feel like they deserved. But like, doesn't everybody deserve a chance? But you feel some type of way because you didn't get it? So yeah, I'm like, right, it does give kind of like all lives matter energy. And she said there are comments, like I just said, trashing Bobbie Goods, Ohuhu, and the creators. They're calling people rich and well off and undeserving, which is crazy. No one had anything to say the last time she sent out PR. This was the most diverse PR send out, ranging from 2K to 200K. Like I said earlier, I felt sad when I didn't get PR last time or this time, but I didn't hop on the internet to make people feel bad or rain on their parade, even though I had quote unquote valid feelings. I feel like there's a difference of being upset in private and being resentful online in front of a group of people that you call friends. There's thousands of people on Color Talk. Of course, they're gonna miss people that probably deserve PR. I saw so many girls that 1,000% deserved PR. I wasn't sent Ohuhu's Bobbie collection, but I would never make someone that did get them feel guilty. I'm not saying you're doing that, but speaking more broadly, I guess you're talking to that person. There's a time and a place. And yeah, I think that ties up exactly how I feel about this madness, like perfectly in a bow. Okay? Y'all are doing too much. Let's calm down, right? We're all supposed to be friends here. So don't keep raining on other people's parade. Stop being entitled. And at the end of the day, Bobbie doesn't have to send out nothing if she doesn't want to. So leave people alone. Like, the resentment is reeking from your pores and it's stinky. Right? We don't want to smell that BO. So keep it at your place and keep it quiet and keep it private. You don't need to be reading everybody's comments like this. And overall, Ohuhu ended up releasing a statement on their story, and they said, "We want to sincerely apologize to our Ohuhu and Bobbie Goods community for the inventory complications during the launch. Your love and excitement mean the world to us, and we're truly sorry for the inconvenience. Our teams are working closely together to plan the next restock of the markers, and we'll be announcing the new date very soon. We'll try our best to let everyone get a chance to bring this special set home. Thank you for your patience, kindness, and endless support. You make all of this possible." So yeah, that's kind of the drama that's been going on with the coloring community, but ultimately I'm just glad that I just so happened to be able to get my Bobbie Goods markers, and I was able to secure the new Bobbie Goods book. So if you guys want to see the content that I'm going to be posting with that, of course you guys can feel free to follow me on my coloring accounts at Coloring with Kristen on TikTok, Instagram, and my Coloring with Kristen YouTube channel. I'm almost at 500 subscribers on that channel. So period. Go ahead and, subscribe. Everything will be linked in the description on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple for you guys. Okay, next topic that I have been really excited about this week is, of course, Grammy nominations. OMG. There's always just, so much like iffy feelings when it comes to the Grammys, because of course, notoriously, I've had an issue with the lack of diversity and representation with people of color being, acknowledged and their art being taken seriously when it comes to the Grammys. I just feel like the Recording Academy really be full of BS a lot of the times. But this year, I was really impressed with the nominations that some of my faves got. Like, the one that I was the most excited about to hear was Flow. You guys know, if you listen to my podcast, I've talked about this girl group a million times. Flow is a girl group from the UK, 3 members, Stella, Renee, and Georgia. They're iconic. They're literally legendary and one of one, and they're adding so much substance and creativity into the girl group game that it's like top tier. They released an album called Access All Areas, and it's their debut album, and that got nominated in an R&B album category. Like, girl, who do y'all know is literally giving debut album got a Grammy nom? Are you serious? Like, F the win. Well, no, not F the win, because I want them to be Grammy winners. But like, the fact that it's even a nomination that is added on their resume is everything. I saw Flo on their Access All Areas tour, and I saw them on their tour before that, and I've gotten meet and greet. They're so nice. They're so sweet. I literally love them down. Their meet and greets were all so attentive, and you're able to actually sit and talk with them, have a conversation with them. I've posted my meet and greet experience like on my Instagram at A Little Bit of Lot Podcast and TikTok as well. So if you want to see that, it's somewhere. And I just couldn't be more proud of them. Like, Access All Areas is truly an amazing and incredible body of work. And when I was listening to it again this weekend, because I personally never stopped listening to it since it's been released, but I put it back on rotation again while I was playing Fortnite. And it's like, it just hits different listening to it now, knowing that it's a Grammy nominated album, right? You're like, yes, like, this gives Grammy nomination. Like, are you kidding me? So congrats to Flo. I also saw that Zara Larsson, Midnight Sun, the song, was nominated for a Grammy. I personally feel like the entire project deserved to be nominated, but even if it's just the title track single, I'll take it. She deserves that. Once again, we stan our Swedish Beyonce, okay? I have been so excited because I've been seeing clips from Zara Larsson's Midnight Sun tour, and I'm like, bruh, I still haven't secured my tickets. I need to get on that because I don't think that she comes to my city until next March, which I'm like, bro, like, that feels like it's so far away. But then, of course, like, the time's gonna get here, and I'm like, blink, it's time to go see Zara. So I'm really excited to go do that. I'm hoping me and my boyfriend can manage to get tickets and support her because this album is so good. And I listen to it, like, again, every single time I'm like playing Fortnite, and I play it from literal start to finish every single day. I listen to this album so much that I got a notification on YouTube that says that I'm now a top listener of Zara Larsson. It says that I was in the top 0.1% of her audience of 25 million in October. Do you know how much I have to listen to her music to be in the top 0.1% of a 25 million people audience? Like, what? I was like, okay, period. And like, it gets to the point where when the album is over, I get sad because I'm like, dang, like, that was so good. And I'm still not sick of it yet, even though I listen to it every single day. So that's Eatery. And then I saw that K-pop Demon Hunters, the movie, got a couple of Grammy nominations for their song Golden, I think. Shout out to K-pop Demon Hunters. I've done an episode on the podcast talking about that film. It's absolutely incredible. I also went to go see it at the movie theaters when they had their like sing-along marathon weekend. That was freaking litty. Seeing it with a crowd of people who knew all the words. The kids in there were turned up, and I'm like, I don't care if there's a bunch of children in here. I'm rocking with y'all because y'all rocking with K-pop Demon Hunters. Like, what? And I was just telling my boyfriend, like, I just, at the time when I had originally watched the film, it wasn't nearly as popular as it is now. And I don't know why I didn't expect the film to like get this popular. Like, I already knew that it was like literally worthy of Grammys and like Oscars and like all the awards. But I just thought that because it's called, you know, K-pop Demon Hunters, that it was just going to like kind of just go viral within just the K-pop community, and that was it. But the fact that it's exploded like even beyond the K-pop community, and now it's like literally global, I feel like K-pop Demon Hunters is like bigger than BTS. People who don't even know BTS like know this film. And then we also have Katseye. They're my, you know, favorite girl group as well. They got a Grammy nomination. And Pink Panthers also got a Grammy nomination. I'm like, period. Like, the ladies are sweeping it up with these nominations. So again, congrats to everybody on that. Okay, and then there's also another topic that I wanted to talk about with you guys that I've been interested in and invested in on TikTok. So there is this teacher, I think she teaches high school students. Yeah. And she had gone viral because she had an issue where one of her students stole something from her. So this lady loves pink and she loves Hello Kitty. So if you see her classroom, she has like Hello Kitty decorations like up everywhere. And basically, like I said, she said that one of her high school students stole a Hello Kitty Funko Pop that was out of the box that was on her desk. And she said that this Funko Pop was really sentimental to her and had a lot of like, you know, meaning, because not only, you know, was it hers, right? It's mine, but it was gifted to her by a student 6 years ago. So When she found out that the Funko Pop was stolen, she was like making a series of videos talking about this like in her classroom, and she basically said that she gave the students time to come forward and just tell her like that they stole it, or like just simply put it back on the desk, because she had an idea of who took it, but it was still missing. And then after she gave them time, nobody came forward, nobody said anything. Like, the Funko Pop never showed back up. So then she filed a police report, and it turns out the Funko Pop was worth like $400 online now. So I guess like that's when a lot of people in the comments were saying that she felt like she was being harsh because she filed the police report. But she made another follow-up video, and she basically said that the point of this situation was not that she wanted a student to go to jail, right? Like, she didn't want to press charges. It's not like she wanted them to be like so severely punished for this. You know, she didn't, that's not what she wanted. But at the end of the day, she said she wanted her students to realize that there are consequences for your actions. She said, I'm a teacher. I'm here to teach them life lessons. You cannot go around doing whatever you want and think that there's not going to be consequences to your actions. I am responsible to make sure that I'm helping produce great humans that's going to go out into the world and become like the next teachers and doctors and nurses. So we need to hold them accountable. So in the end, after she was like updating, she ended up, like I said, never getting the Funko Pop back and never figuring out what was going on. And now she said that the school is in charge of the investigation, and they're going to continue to keep looking into the issue. But also I saw that she updated and said that she got a PR package from Funko Pop because of this. And they sent her, I think, the same Funko Pop that she got that was stolen. And everybody in the comments was like, girl, don't put that back in your classroom. And she was like, believe me, I'm not. I'm like, literally, it's only going to be at home from now on. And she like took a lot of the stuff that she had in her classroom and brought it home because she was like, I can't trust these kids. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? I forget her name, but I'll have to make sure that I link her page in the description as well, so you guys can like look into this if you want to. But I don't really think that the teacher was wrong here. Everything that she said was valid. Like, I feel like I need to hold them responsible because you guys need to see there's consequences to your actions, like, period. What? And it's like, they're high school students. Like, they're old enough to know what the frick is going on, old enough to go to juvie for theft. Like, it's tired as a chop. Like, y'all are literally trying to go out sad instead of just coming forward and being honest, huh? Also, another thing that I've been really excited about this week is the fact that Fortnite just released these things called sidekicks, and basically they're like little pets. And I'm like, oh my god, this is everything, because even though I don't have any pets and I've never had a dog, never had a cat, the only pet that I've ever had was a couple of pet fish, and they've all died. I never knew what I was doing, didn't properly take care of them, I admit that. But I love the idea of having like a digital pet. When I play The Sims, I love my animals as if they're like real animals. You know what I mean? Like, I live through my Sims that way, because I have a Sim that I've been playing with since 2018. Her name is Desiree. I've talked about her before on here, and she has a dog, and that dog has been with her like since the beginning, where she was like starting off her career, and now she's married and has children, and that dog is still there. And it's so funny because I think I've said this before as well. The dog is like always running away. And then on Sims, you have to like post like a missing pet alert. And then eventually the dog comes back and it's like all dirty and disgusting. And you have to like give it a bath and welcome it back. And then it's like so annoying because while it's missing, all of your Sims are like depressed and sad because they can't stop thinking about the fact that the pet is missing, which I'm like, that's understandable. Like, she stays running away, child. I'm like, girl, get your butt back home. It's so funny to me. But yeah, another thing that I've also been really loving this week is the Unsupervised podcast by Sid and TP. I don't know if I've already talked about this or not. I feel like I'm constantly being like, did I talk about this? Did I talk about this? Because my memory is literal crap, right? But even if I did, oh well. But if I haven't, I want you guys to be sure to check this podcast out because it is so funny. The podcast is by WNBA star Sydney Colson, and they also have, I think her name is Teresa Playons. I forgot how to say her last name, but they go by Sid and TP. And like I said, they both play basketball, and I feel like, because I have deja vu talking about this right now, so I don't know if I've discussed it, like I said, with you guys or not, but I just feel pretty shameful about how little I know about women's basketball, but I also like don't know anything about like men's basketball either. I don't know anything about basketball, and I literally used to be a cheerleader in the 8th grade, and I would be at the games being like, I have absolutely no clue about what's going on. I'll literally be watching like games on TV with my boyfriend, and he'll be like, you see number 13? And I'm like, child, the camera is far away. I can't even barely tell which number is who. I can't even tell like the faces, like who is who, like what does this guy look like? I don't know. Like it gets really confusing. It was so much so like even last week we were watching basketball together, and one team was like scoring in one basket, but then all of a sudden they started scoring in the other basket, and I'm like, aren't they supposed to score in the basket over there? Like why are they all of a sudden scoring in the other one? And he was like, oh, it switches. I'm like, child, I don't even know what's going on. I can't keep up. So the fact that I like literally know nothing about like men basketball players, let alone women, it's like that just is what it is. I think I only know like the big ones, like Kobe, LeBron, and then like when it comes to women's basketball, I only know like Angel Reese. For real, which shout out to her because she did that Victoria's Secret runway show and she looked good, girl. Okay, period. So after watching Sid and TP on the Unsupervised podcast, I just love them so much. I've really just grown to like literally be down for these girls. I would literally protect them with my life because, first of all, Sid is a 2-time WNBA champion. Didn't even know that. And I showed like my boyfriend their podcast, and he like looked up highlights, and I'm like, let me see, like, are my girls ballers for real? And he was like, yeah, like they can play. And I'm like, okay, period. And like not only do they like talk about like what's going on in like the W, so I get a little bit more of like understanding of what goes on with that, and I can learn, but they also talk about like real topics with like things that are like unfortunately going on, like I said, with the current administration, like literally giving Hitler things, like trying to end the universe, and dictatorship is ridiculous. And they talk about such like serious topics, but at the same time they keep it like light and funny. And Sid, she's also been like dabbling into like stand-up comedy, and both of them are just really, really hilarious. I recently watched their Halloween episode as well because I was binging it because I was a couple episodes behind, and it was just so funny. So if you just want to, hear them talk about not only like what goes on in the W just a little bit, but then like for the most part, like hearing about their personal lives, their stories, things they've been through, but like their takes on like pop culture, and even a little bit of dabble of like politics in like a funny, humorous way. On top of that, like I said, it's LGBT friendly for the girls, gays, and nays as well. It just overall feels like such a welcoming space for such a diverse like coverage of topics. Like I literally live down for it. So like be sure to guys to like check out Unsupervised with TP and Sid. So yeah, that's about all I got for you guys this week. I had so much fun chatting with you guys. And like I said at the beginning of the episode, if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Okay, let's get to that 1K. I know that's right. And if you're watching on Spotify and Apple, rate that 5 stars, leave a review. And with that, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Cause I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with y'all. Mini skirt,